What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion. It's that time, it's halfway throughout the year, and as we're filming this, it's midway through 2025. There's been a lot of stuff going on up to this point of the year, and there's a lot of stuff coming up. And in this video, we're gonna talk about things that are relevant to Motomillion. We're gonna run through the brands and talk about what's happened, what's coming up. Let's start off with Aprilia. Aprilia just released their 2026 Tonal V4 and the 2026 Aprilia RS V4. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that's changed. As we know, Aprilia is not about revolution, but it's about evolution. And that 2026 bike's very similar to that 2025 bike, which was just a bodywork upgrade over the previous 2025 model year. And it is what it is, not much going on there. But on the other end, talking about BMW, there's a lot of excitement going on. You may not be aware of it, and you may be hearing it here first, but the little birdie told us that there's a new 2026 S1000RR that's coming out, and earlier on this year, they teased us with that concept RR, which was, we think, basically a world superbike that was rebodied to look really pretty, but I think they were testing waters and building excitement to what's coming up. We don't think they're going to release that 2026 S1000RR in Italy in EICMA, but maybe they'll do it at Intermot in Germany or somewhere around those shows that they're going to show us what that 2026 S1000RR is going to look like. Well, after BMW comes Ducati. And it's not me who just loves Ducatis, but there's a lot of excitement going around Ducati because we all know that we all look up to it, even if you like it or not, because it is the top brand in the superbike world right now. And there is some leaked information, again, that you may be hearing it first. The Ducati Panigale V2 got the V2S variant with the 2025 model update, but there's going to be a 2026 Panigale V2R coming out to get that bike prepped up. And we're going to jump right in to the information that you may not have heard it, and if you've heard it, you have to comment down below, because we suspect that the 2025 Panigale V2 is going to get a new variant added, because as you know, when they released it this year, the V2 had a brother called the V2S, and there's going to be a big boy in that V2 lineup called the V2R, because from what we hear, the new V2 is not fast enough around the racetrack to be used as a racing bike to fill up that slot in the Superbike series or the Super Sport series. So there's going to be a V2R coming up that's revised and making more power with that engine that it has. What's happening, from what I heard, and you're going to hear it here first, they're getting ready to launch a 2026 Ducati Panigale V4R that makes more power, so that this new agile bike that has all new electronics is going to be as fast or even faster than the bike that it replaced. Speaking of the racing world, we all saw the testing of the 2026 Panigale V4R, which is based loosely around that newly updated 2025 Panigale V4. And if you remember, when we came back from EICMA in November of 2024, we had mentioned that we spoke to some of the racing teams. They had mentioned that the new bike, the way that front intake is designed, it's not getting enough air because of the turbulence that it's causing for this bike to be competitive. Everybody saw those spy shots of the Panigale V4R. They talked about various parts of this bike, but no one focused in or talked about that scoop that's in the front. And I'm gonna grab my phone, we're gonna pop up that new Panigale V4R that we saw on track. We're gonna talk about some of the details so that we know what to expect with this new 2026 Panigale V4R that's gonna be introduced very shortly. All right, right here we have the new 2026 Panigale V4R in its testing form, and I believe this is the Ducati test rider, Michele Pirro, testing it. Right off the bat, take a look at these winglets. These look like the Lamborghini Panigale V4 winglets that we saw in that special edition, but I believe everyone just left out this big scoop that's in the middle, and this picture is a little deceiving because that scoop doesn't look like it's coming down, but it literally looks like a scoop that's under the bike. Another thing that we noticed that everybody else focused on was the downwash pieces that's over here, that aero piece that came straight out of MotoGP, so that it gives us the aerodynamic benefits. But also there was a lot of talk about that rear swing arm that the bike has. The swing arm was completely different. It's still a dual-sided swing arm from what you see on the Panigale V4 and the V4S street models. We know that they do have some concessions to run different swing arms on these bikes. We have to wait and see what that swing arm is like on the homologation bike that comes out. Another thing that I don't know if I should be even talking about on this video, but don't forget, whenever there is a new Panigale V4 out, we're always thinking about these submodels that has existed. We're not talking about the Lamborghinis or these special editions that they might come out with, but traditionally we know that when there's a new superbike announced from Ducati, there's always an S model, an R model, but also there's always a Superleggera. This is speculation from our end of what's coming up with the new Superleggera that's going to be based on the new 2025 Panigale V4. And we think Ducati is going crazy with their branding, with their ties with Audi Sport. But don't forget, if you think lightweight in the automotive world, in that brand circle of Volkswagen Audi group, one name pops out, and that's Porsche. Wouldn't it be crazy if the new Superleggera was taking that lightweight philosophy of a Porsche and applying it to the Ducati Panigale V4 Superleggera? We gotta wait and see that, but I think that may happen, or they may capitalize on that branding. It's gonna be very exciting and probably very expensive too. After Ducati comes the Honda guys, and Honda is pretty much the same with that updated CBR 1000RR. We love the bike, the pricing's too high, there's not much new stuff going on with them. Maybe later on this year in 2025 EICMA show in November, they'll show us something else, or maybe they'll come with that lightweight or middleweight sport bike that everybody else is coming out in that 890 to 900 cc category. So far we haven't heard any rumors, but you can be sure that if it comes out, we'll definitely try to get our hands on one, and we'll try to see what that all new platform is about, but so far there's nothing confirmed. Running through, I think next alphabetically is Kawasaki. Not much going on there, or I haven't even checked it. I quickly researched to see if the ZX10RR or ZX10R got an update. Unfortunately, it looks like it didn't, or I couldn't find enough news about it. And if you haven't been living under a rock, you know that KTM is in deep trouble. They're officially bankrupt. And that new model that they released at EICMA, I think it was the RC900, or is there 900 sport bike slash super bike that they released? It may not happen. Very unfortunate, but I think we all knew this day was coming sooner or later. And it also affects the next brand name that I'm going to talk about, which is MV Agusta. MV Agusta was doing really well under the KTM ownership, but it looks like when the money dried up in KTM, it may spell some trouble onto MV Agusta. But they've released that beautiful Super Veloce 1000, which is the 1000cc variant of their ever so beautiful Super Veloce 800 Ago, which is based on Agostini, which was their superstar MotoGP rider, or the GP rider from back in the day. Now there is a brand new 1000cc variant of that Ago. I think with the added grunt, that's a winner. I haven't heard how it sounds, but I bet you it probably sounds pretty crazy. We can't wait to see if it could get our hands on one. Time will tell, because a lot of you guys have asked Motomillion to get into the MV Agusta world. We'll see. We'll try to make it happen. But if it doesn't, there's plenty of other bikes to go around. Going on to Suzuki, you guys saw that we did a challenge with the Suzuki GSX-R 1000. And as we predicted, it didn't do well on the realm of social media, because there may be some die-hard fans of those motorcycles. Unfortunately, the excitement in those brand names are dead, and it's very unfortunate, because we love superbikes. We love to have all new, all different variants, brand new toys, and unfortunately, there's nothing going on the Suzuki end as well. And last but not the least, Yamaha. And I think this is the most exciting Japanese brand that's been around in the past years. As you know, they introduced the 2025 Yamaha R1 and R1M, and if you live in the free side of the world, in the United States and Canada, you know that we didn't get the R1 and the R1M chopped off their list. In Europe, now those bikes are only available as a track bike because of the emissions rules that they have. Luckily, in North America, we still have the R1 and R1M, which we love, but they're getting a little dated, but those winglets, we think look beautiful. But the big news is, again, I think this is probably no rumor because we've heard it every year once after another, but we have a Yamaha source confirming that there's most likely or most definitely going to be a brand new 2026 R1/R1M that's coming out. We can't wait for it. And every time there's a new R1 that comes out, and it doesn't happen often, it makes a splash in the industry, in the motorcycling world, within the enthusiasts. We can't wait to see it. And you can be sure that when it comes out, if it's affordable, we're going to get our hands on it and we're going to do what Motomillion does best. We're going to give it the best as possible to make it that amazing street superbike as we can. Now that we talked about some of the rumors and some of the things that's been going on in the manufacturer side of things, let's talk about a little bit of the aftermarket side of the world. There's not a whole lot going on, but there's a lot of excitement around, of course, the Ducati Panigale V4, which is probably the biggest news for this year because it was released. The aftermarket has been going crazy about it. We're all waiting for all of these exhaust systems to come out. And as I'm filming this video, the Termignoni Undertale had just come out. We may be featuring it and installing it on our own 2025 Panigale V4, and that'll help us build and also develop a license plate mount for that exhaust system. But also there's going to be other brand names. We can't wait till SC Project actually comes out for an exhaust system for this updated model. It's any day now. We're probably thinking it's already July. In August, Italians really go on their month-long holiday. So that probably September or October, we're going to see a brand new exhaust system or a lineup of exhausts, including a full and slip-on for that 2025 Panigale V4. The Street Fighter V4 also shares the same platform, so a lot of the things that fits the Panigale V4 fits that model. And other than that, because there's not really new platforms that's coming out, there hasn't been much going on in the aftermarket world. This year we saw the introduction of the BST StarTech wheels, which we love, and we showed you guys the differences in weights of them, which again, I think that's a great addition into the aftermarket world. But as it is, and as it is with the global economy, and also with these tariffs going on in North America, we're just happy that this sport hasn't died and that the industry is still going well. As there is new parts that are coming out onto these motorcycles and into these platforms, you can be sure that we'll feature them on our website. And if you go into the categories, and you could always go hit newer to the oldest parts, you'll see some of the newest parts being added daily onto our website. And I want to hear your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think? What do you think of the rumors that we shared with you guys? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's not true? Because we know, if you go back to our videos, when we showed you guys the leaked AI images, as we called it, of the 2025 Panigale V2, a lot of you guys doubted what we said. Are you still doubting what we're saying about all these leaks? And personally, I'm really excited about that 2026 BMW S1000RR. We still love BMWs over here. As you may call me a Ducati fanboy, I actually really like the S1000RR platform. As dull as it is, just having the same thing with different bodywork and winglets sometimes gets old and doesn't excite me, but I think that 2026 S1000RR will feature an all-new platform and have a lot of improvements, which will make it exciting. And as it is, the aftermarket world will go crazy, but also don't forget, Alpha Racing will have a lot of stuff that will translate onto the street bikes that we build over here. So I'm really excited about it. But it's not all that, guys. It's still midway through 2025. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more exciting news that will come up throughout these months that'll lead us onto the closing of this year, especially in November when that big event happens in Milan, Italy, which is called EICMA. you can be sure that we'll try to share some news, and also, as always, leak some of the news that we receive to you guys and try to be the first. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.